Hello and welcome to this episode of the GrowVC Everyone Funding Startups podcast. I'm your host Marcus, and today we're taking a look at innovation in Poland in the form of an early stage stock exchange for high growth companies, and that's called NewConnect. So today I'm joined by Bogy Skowronski, who is going to tell us more about NewConnect and Poland in general. So first of all, I want to thank you for joining us on our podcast today.
Thank you very much, Marcus. Really pleased to be here.
And why don't we start off with a little bit of an introduction to yourself for our audience?
Okay. Well, I'm Polish. I was born here, and I left Poland in the mid-70s, so quite a long time ago. And I wanted to study in the United States, and I thought I'll just go for a year to America and then come back. But it so happened that I got accepted to MIT, and that kind of changed my life. And I decided basically to then live in the United States. So I got my bachelor's from MIT in engineering, worked for Exxon for a few years, big corporate, both in the US and the Netherlands. And then kind of got an earning to go back to school and got accepted to Harvard, finished in '85 with an MBA degree. And then kind of had this calling, which I guess followed me for since early days to kind of do something on my own. And that was then the first startup I put together with another person from Boston, which was funded by a local angel investor. It was damn tough. I did things I did not learn at Harvard Business School during this startup, but it was a lot of fun. I really learned a lot. We sold the company in '91, and then I was kind of looking for the next thing. And, you know, as you all know, '91 was the beginning of the big transformation in Central and Eastern Europe. So I decided to join European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, which was then created, was a big organization, but in a startup mode, because the bank was really organized in 1991. So I was one of the first 20 employees. And this was really the only place at that time to fund changes in Central and Eastern Europe. I was responsible for Poland as a senior banker, and we did a lot of really good transactions, big transactions with the big Western corporates. And in '94, I moved to Switzerland to join Union Bank of Switzerland, which was then trying to kind of make a breakthrough to Central and Eastern Europe. And I worked in corporate finance in Zurich. We did, among others, the privatization of KGHM, which was a flotation on the Warsaw and London stock exchanges. And then joined a little boutique in Zurich, which was extremely dynamic and active in funding entrepreneurs and organizing transactions with multinationals for top Polish entrepreneurs. So I worked there for about 7 years and then went on my own, created CMS Pro Alpha, which I'm managing right now. And this is a company in Zurich doing primarily corporate finance, M&A deals, and in Warsaw and Prague, where we focus primarily on organizing capital through the public markets. So that kind of brings me to today. I'm speaking right now from Warsaw, where I'm the CEO of a CMS Pro Alpha focused on NewConnect, which is the alternative trading platform of the Warsaw Stock Exchange, channeling capital to small and mid-sized companies.
All right, and since we're going to be talking about NewConnect, why don't you also introduce that in a nutshell, what it is and who it's for?
Okay, so in 2007, Warsaw Stock Exchange decided to organize an organized method for funding startups. So they looked around in different markets and basically copied the model from AIM London. So the structure is very much mirrored on how AIM is organized, and basically it's a platform. It's unregulated market, but organized market for small and mid-sized companies get capital via going public. So it's a platform for channeling money to companies and then listing them to enable liquidity for the investors that would put money into those companies.
All right. What's the process like for a startup or growth company that gets listed on NewConnect?
Well, the first thing is to to select the right company. And so the process starts with finding a nominated advisor or an authorized advisor, how we are called in Poland, that will basically lead the company through the various steps. And the requirements are really limited. The company has to have a right legal form, which is a joint stock company. It has to be solvent, and transferability of shares cannot be restricted. So if these three basic conditions are fulfilled, then the company can be introduced to trading on NewConnect. The process which is followed is called private placement. And the main difference is that in private placement, it's much less formal than a public offer, and the prospectus is not required. The limitation, however, is that we can only go to maximum 99 named investors. So whoever the authorized advisor is, this person has to know the investors base very well to be able to select the right group of investors for a particular opportunity. So there are kind of two discrete steps. One is getting money into the company through capital increase, typically. And then the second step is listing the shares on the NewConnect platform.
And are there any visible trends in terms of what types of companies emerge in the NewConnect platform?
Well, the NewConnect has been extremely successful. I mean, we have already close to 300 companies which have been listed. We checked at the end of July, there have been 294 companies which were listed on NewConnect, 15 of which have moved already to the main market of the Warsaw Stock Exchange, which I'll describe in a second. Since the beginning of August, there were already 3 more added. So we have close to 300 companies right now. And it's really a big portfolio of different industries. So IT is very prominent, real estate to some extent, medical services, biotechnology. I mean, really, it's broad representation of the economy. And there are foreign companies as well as Polish companies listed on that market.
All right. You mentioned that NewConnect has been operational since August in 2007, so roughly 4 years now. So what has the progress and development been like in these past 4 years?
Well, I think we can say that NewConnect is a very successful startup, because the market was really created from nothing. I mean, the Warsaw Stock Exchange is the second most active exchange after London among European exchanges. It has, in terms of number of IPOs and the value of IPOs, so we have 2 markets, the main market and NewConnect. The main market has been active since 1993, I believe, so for quite a long time already, and it's basically designated for larger enterprises. And NewConnect, it's a startup, and I can say it's a very successful startup because close to 300 companies have been listed already. The number of investors is growing. Till now, the NewConnect companies have been funded primarily by individual investors from Poland, Central Europe, and to some extent also from Western Europe. Close to 270 million euros have been invested into these small companies, so approximately 1 million euro each. Which I find really amazing that so much money has actually flown in. And, I mean, these companies, these startups were able to hire people, develop businesses, and most of them are successful. There was only one case of a company which went bankrupt on NewConnect, despite a very tough condition that we all experienced in 2008 and 2009.
All right. NewConnect is obviously Polish, and we at GrowVC, we have a global audience, and you also mentioned that there are foreign companies on NewConnect. So what would the biggest benefits be for foreign companies of being listed on NewConnect?
Well, I think we live in a very interesting era of the various stock exchanges creating kind of global links and merging with each other. And I think in the process of all this being done, the exchanges try to attract bigger and bigger and global enterprise.